From conspiracy theories about how it began in a Chinese or American lab and how it spreads boosted by 5G networks, to fake news about the reappearance to seldom viewed animals in ports and canals, to bogus remedies, some deadlier than the disease itself, the internet is flooded with conspiracies. According to the World Health Organization, we are not just fighting an epidemic, we are fighting an infodemic. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus warned in February. The WHO defines an infodemic as an overabundance of information, some accurate and some not, that makes it hard for people to find trustworthy sources and reliable guidance when they need it. This is exactly what we've seen happening over the past few months. We spoke to some people about how they process the information overload.
Some people can virtually die as a result of fake news. So it's not really advisable for this form of fake news to be given any form of due consideration. It's not advisable for one to be able to ascertain the definition of the information and try as much as possible to be sure of the facts and figures before such information should be disseminated across to the people.
GRT has also caught up with activist and writer Ellika. As a social media enthusiast, Ellika explains he has been seeing and reading a lot about the conspiracy theories and fake news surrounding Covid19. He explains the most provocative news of them all.
I think the most provocative one yet is the one that posits that this virus doesn't exist. I mean, at least if you acknowledge that it exists, then the people would be a bit more careful. But when you go around telling people it doesn't exist, this is a conspiracy to control people. They want to inject microchips into people. These people don't need to inject a microchip in you. You already have a phone. You have a chip in your pocket. They are going around with this chip everywhere. They know everything you're doing. They don't need anything like that.
From the Ministry of Information, Communications Infrastructure, we also spoke to Prince Abubakar Sankano, who expressed dismay at a similar notion.
Conspiracy theory is a coping mechanism that human beings develop so that they can adapt to a situation that they don't understand. Provocative of all of them is this doesn't exist. Outright denial.
At a time when people are going through immense stress and anxiety, Ellika advises people to make enough research about the virus before they publish or assume anything.
It is the prerogative of the government to know that when lives have been endangered, that it should be categorized not as free speech. Then that would be considered hate speech. That would not be considered free speech. Likewise, if people go around and they have huge platforms where they spread this misinformation, they must be stopped. Follow the authorized entities like the Ministry of Health, MRC, WHO. Listen to experts in this field. These people have put in years of work. The scientists, they spend years working on this. Look for good books and good lectures by doctors and virologists on how viruses work. If you want to have knowledge, because we're going to have a lot more pandemics. This is not going to be the first or the last.
It is no doubt that fake news definitely impedes the work of health experts, governments, and stakeholders in the fight against the virus. Mr. Sankano explains the need to draw the line between what's right and wrong.
To remain as the bastion of authentic information, this is what we are working on, and it is helping us. And then we are winning against some of the fake news. We cannot win. We are not interested in defeating them because people continue to always come with new. But at the end of the day, the general public will always come back to us. We've been given a mandate to educate the people, and that's why I always carry this information, this scientific information about the COVID-19 results. If I don't have this, if somebody come and say anything, we will not believe, because this is what is final. It's according to international standard.
Until today, there is no vaccine for the treatment of the virus. The WHO has debunked claims suggesting the vaccine will be tested on Africans once it is approved. U.S. President Donald Trump has also been making numerous assumptions about the treatment of the virus, from suggesting the use of chloroquine to the use of disinfectants, which experts do not seem to concur with. Mr. Sankano advises the public to remain calm and turn to credible sources like the government if they need their doubts clarified.
We need information, to defeat this COVID-19. And information, in an information age, anybody who is able to manage information, you are on top of the game. But if you mismanage information, you will ruin yourself.
Social media platforms, often hesitant to take decisive action against political disinformation and fake news, have stepped up and are taking action. According to the Reuters Institute study, the platforms have indeed removed or attached warnings to social media posts flagged as false by independent fact-checkers. But the response varied from company to company. On Twitter, 59% of posts rated as false in sample by fact-checkers remain up. On YouTube, 27% remain up. And on Facebook, 24% of false-rated content in sample remains up without warning labels, the study found. The fight against fake news is a continuous one. However, health experts and relevant institutions remain poised in carrying out the right information at the right time with due diligence and a thoughtful approach. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatou Ellika Muloshi.